Hey guys, it's Matt here. I thought I'd put together a video on an area of collecting Australian coins that I think is really interesting and also really important when you put it in the context of Australia's monetary history. So Proclamation coins. These are the coins that were used before Australia even had our own coins. We didn't really have much. It was pretty basic, a pretty basic operation in the early 1800s, late 1700s in Australia. So it was basically a case of people were trading goods. There was a lot of barter going on, but there wasn't. My understanding is there wasn't really a clearly defined explanation of what was worth what, and you had money from all different countries flying around, and it sounds like it was a pretty fast and loose time in that regard. So in 1800, Governor Philip Gidley King stepped up to the plate and decided to put together his proclamation, which outlined the values that were being attributed to the various coins that were circulating in the colony at the time. So this was in 1800. So my understanding was always that the Holey dollar and dump were the beginning of Australian numismatics. So if a collector wanted to go right back to the start, that's where it all began. But that wasn't until 1813. So prior to that, this is what was going on. So these coins to me actually represent the true beginning of Australian coin collecting, which is quite interesting in a sense because it's not actually Australian coins, but it's sort of where it all began because with limited resources, we had to come up with a method of facilitating daily trade and things like that. So in the proclamation, there were 11 coins outlined and values attributed to them. And that then would have made it much easier for all of the merchants and things like that to understand what was what and what value things had, what value was attributed to which coins, basically. Because particularly when you look at some of the Indian coins and the designs on them, for John Citizen, even today, it's hard to identify what's going on. If you can't read the language and you don't know what's going on, it can get a little confusing. So you can imagine back then, if you're doing a transaction and you've got all these different coins involved, you needed some sort of clarity as to what the value of things was. An excellent resource that I found was this book right here actually, which was written by an Australian numismatist, Andrew Crellin. He's based over in Perth and he's always been something of a mentor to me. And that book actually really opened my eyes because it's an area that I didn't really know anything about. And like anything in the collecting area, the more you learn, the more value these things take on. So I would say read with caution because before you know it, you'll be looking at putting together a proclamation collection. And once you start getting into those gold coins, it can get a little expensive. But certainly something that's really valuable. The books like that and just learning a little bit more about these coins, it's really it's really enjoyable as a collector.